All right. All right, we're gonna go ahead and call this to order and do our flag salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, we're gonna be moving right into an executive session for 30 minutes, and we'll resume our regular meeting at 6:30. The Port of Allyn Board of Commissioners will now meet in executive session to discuss potential litigation as allowed by RCW 4342-30-110 India. The Port of Allyn Board will meet in executive session until 6:30. We're not expected to take further action regarding any potential litigation following the executive session. So we'll do that till 6:30. So apologize for the inconvenience, but we need to do that. Okay.
So that means you all get to leave.
Yeah.
You want us to just call?
Yeah.
In here.
Yeah. We
Recording in progress.
So we'll call the regular meeting, okay.
They'll let people in, I think.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, cool. We'll call the regular meeting back to order here and apologize for the inconvenience. And actually, one of the things that I brought up is when we have an executive session, unless there's a conflict with that on our end, we're going to look at trying to do that at the end of our meeting rather than inconvenience you all in the future. So, okay. Yeah, I wish I had thought of that before, but I didn't, so I am now. Okay. So we'll go ahead and start with, we move right from that to our public comment. If we have anybody here in person, okay. Very well. If you don't mind getting up here and letting us know if you're comfortable with that, or you can say that.
Sure.
All right.
I'll go first so that everybody can fight with me later.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
What?
Tell everybody
Oh,
3
yeah.
minutes.
3-minute public comments, then please. Do the best you can with that.
Before I start, I'd like you to take a name of this person and her phone number too. She's with Noah. Her name is Terry King, and I'm gonna give you her phone number. I'm gonna walk over because I don't want to say that loud,
Okay.
and then you can write it down.
What do you want us to do with that?
I'll tell you.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it.
You need to see it though,
Okay.
so you can see that she's legit.
All right. I had my eyes dilated today, so bear with
I'm
me.
sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Did you get it?
Yes.
Okay.
She's been around a long time.
Okay, yeah.
So as a port commissioner, when I was a port commissioner here as well as Greatview, she's my go-to person when there are questions that I'm not really sure about when it comes to the water.
Okay.
So she can answer a lot of questions for you. My name is Jean Farmer,
We'll start
and
from minutes here.
I have sat in your chairs for 1 appointment and 2 elections. So I have empathy for the role you play, but I'm here as a private citizen.
Okay.
Going on 11 years ago, I voted no on the Sergeant Oyster Shack. And there were many reasons, but some of them stood out to me, and here are some. The port didn't have the money or the reserves 10 years ago. The port didn't have enough staff 10 years ago, and the port didn't have a volunteer base 10 years ago. I felt it was a waste of taxpayer money. Removing it from one beach.
Okay, can we hold on 1 second? We're having some technical difficulties that we want to do. We don't do you a disservice here. Thank you. What are we trying to do here?
Trying to get our technical difficulties back.
Okay.
People on Zoom can't hear.
Got it. All right.
Can you introduce yourself?
All over.
Just start.
Um,
Just, can you please speak?
My name is Jean Farmer.
My name is Jean Farmer.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, where do I start? At the beginning?
Yes, please.
That'd be
Is
good.
my 3 minutes?
No, you're
No, I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Okay.
No, we wouldn't do that.
That's our fault, we.
Okay. So going on 11 years ago, I voted no on the Sergeant Oyster Shack, and there are lots of reasons why, but here are a few. The port didn't have the money or the reserves. The port didn't have the staff. The port didn't have the volunteer base, and I felt it was a total waste of taxpayer money. Removing it from one beach, which is right down the road here, moving it to here for 10 years, and I don't think there's permits to put it on the water yet. So that's going to be sitting there for I don't know how much more longer before you get permits to put it on the water. So I suggested they build a replica. It would take less time and probably be done now. The port has too many projects in the fire right now. All of them are important though, and then in the past 8 years since I left the port of Allyn, what has the port done? Have they moved forward on any of these projects? I think that's a question the commission needs to answer. And I understand you've had some issues with deaths. I get that. When I was there, we lost our executive director too. It's tough. Will the shack be painted next month? I asked for an accounting of the oyster shack and what had been spent and what was received by whom. I put in a public records request March 14th and still haven't received any info. This is an ongoing project. You should be able to put your finger on exactly how much money has been received and exactly how much money has been spent. This isn't a project that's not ongoing. It's present. Why I can't get that information, I don't know. I was told it would be a while before I could get the information because there's not enough staff, which goes back to what I originally voted no for because there wasn't enough staff. The Port of Allyn can't even meet the day-to-day obligations. This was my fear 8 years ago. Except it's me who's dealing with it. Commissioners, I hope you understand that this is extremely important that you spend the taxpayer money with transparency. So I see no spreadsheets with the bills being paid for tonight's meeting. There should be a spreadsheet broken down of every bill you pay every month, how much money it is. And all I see is a total, but I don't see a breakdown on an Excel spreadsheet. And you need to show the public what you're paying of their money. You've been in the job a while, Travis. The honeymoon's over. There is work to be done. When I was I was a co-owner of an oyster company and a port commissioner and an accountant. I had a career as a general manager for 23 years. Every morning I walked the properties that I worked at, outside and inside, every floor, every stairwell, every public area, to make sure that there wasn't a problem on my hotel. I suggest that commissioners do what I did when I was a commissioner here. Once a month I walked the property, your properties, and I would do that. So, that's it?
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate your input.
And use that number if you need to, Terry's number.
Okay,
That will help you a lot.
okay.
Is there a super board?
Just raise your hand. Yeah, you just raise your hand.
There is for you because you're on the agenda.
Yeah.
Herb raised his hand on Zoom.
What's that?
Herb raised his
Okay,
hand
so
on Zoom.
before we go to the Zoom, is there anybody else here in person that wants to make public comment? Mr. Van Busker? Did you want to speak?
We're on
They're on the agenda.
Okay.
He's on with, Jim. He's on the agenda too.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Are you gonna, before I start, are you gonna have public comment during your action items on the RCO and the draft MOA?
Another public comment?
Yeah, during that.
No.
Okay. I'll try to read through. I'm gonna give you these written comments.
Okay.
They're on both sides if I don't get through this, but it's
Okay.
primarily about the RCO and the MOA.
Is this for each person?
Is this all one?
It's on both sides of it's one piece of paper, both
Okay,
sides.
So, pass that down.
You could probably read it in 3 minutes, but I don't think I can talk about it in 3 minutes. My name is Ken Van Buskirk. I'm from Belfair. I sent you all 2 documents, the 2015 funding letter that was sent to many in Belfair, including 2 Port of Allyn commissioners, and the 2016 public record request transcripts of Port of Allyn text messages regarding Sweetwater. I hope you all had a chance to review those. You should be concerned. The port and the executive director show partiality towards the Canal Salmon Enhancement Group, and there's the appearance of conflicts of interest. The property is not in compliance with RCW 53-08260. It is not ancillary to any other port facilities, and it should be transferred to a different agency. The 1997 Schindelheim grant property has seen changes in potential use and ownership since it was first acquired almost 30 years ago. At that time, they were talking, part of the grant was to put a fish ladder in. Both the draft MOA with the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group and the RCO correction plan have not changed at all since your recent workshop, despite my and others' public input. I was cut off at the workshop, and I would like to offer some constructive criticism regarding both. Corrective action plan, number one priority should be a Department of Ecology no further action letter obtained by the port, not the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group. Notification and coordination should happen with the North Mason School District, who has 38 contiguous acres of open property. The whole Schindelheim property should be delineated for wetlands. All hazard trees on the property should be removed. Public access is to the property, not just the trail. Water directed onto the property by the neighbor should be returned to sender or litigated. The conceptual park plan from 2016 is not feasible. Removal of 3 fish barriers should be planned and budgeted for. Removal of the false 2012 archaeological site designation by the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group, who knowingly submitted the application. There's no need for a new trail system. There is already an old roadbed that works fine to fill the requirement of public access. There is no need for a cultural resource survey. The school district does not have an MOA. You have to read the rest. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, thank you, Mr.
But most importantly,
Yes, sir.
there's one thing, if I could,
Okay.
before the port does anything else, a forensic audit of the property should be accomplished, along with a thorough review of all expenditures and land transactions. The Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group should provide a complete list of all donors, donations, and expenditures to the project since that 2015 funding letter to the present time, as they are still taking donations.
All right. Thank you for your time. Do we have any other public comment here? When we get on to the rest of the agenda. I know we got somebody online that wants to do this, public comment?
Yes.
Okay, online,
Herb.
who is it? I can't see.
Herb Gerhard.
All right. Mr. Gerhard, is that right?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Gerhard.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, I've been having trouble with getting this going. But anyways, I'm Herb Gerhart. I am a taxpayer in your district and have been since the 70s. I support the Sweetwater Park. I think you need to get the show on the road. I read the 2 documents, and I don't see where this is going to cost the port anything. It is going to be managed and run by the Salmon Center, which is terrific as far as I'm concerned. I think it's a big asset. I was on the original Parks Trails Committee for the county. One of our goals was to have a walking trail all the way from Shelton all the way down to Feller, and this was one of the links that's required from top of the hill down. And like I say, I fully support this. I think I know there's been lots of arguments over it and disagreements. I think the Salmon Center is more than capable of ironing out all the hard spots and coordinating this thing and getting the show on the road. And I've been on the property a number of times because I did the Hulk inspections on the derelict trailers and stuff that was up there. So I believe that's all gone. I haven't been up there recently, but I think it's time to just go for it and quit arguing over the thing. We're spending more money arguing than anything else, and there's no need for that. And like I said, I fully support it, so I urge you to vote for the agreements with the same, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So, anybody else online for a public comment? I need your set of eyes here.
Who?
Ted Jackson.
Oh, okay. Ted Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, you want to make public comment?
Sorry, that was my fault.
I'll go ahead and make a comment.
Okay, go ahead there, Mr. Sheelan.
Yeah, good evening, Commissioners and Director. Wanted to jump on and just discuss the economic situation currently facing our nation. We're in a very great time of uncertainty with a global trade war. And America has always been a strong country because of our economic strength. And Washington State has been a strong state because of our economic strength. And what I'd really like to see the Port of Allyn get back to is a focus on economic growth. I really think that is being missed by the port. And because it's a small port, it's operating more like a park district than a port district. And we really need a full court press from all forms of government in our state to get the state moving forward economically and clear the red tape for businesses and cut the fees and figure out how to operate more efficiently. And basically the port is a very small organization in Allyn and small staff, and the water system, for example, is the fees are $9,000 for a connection, and Washington Water, which is a large municipal water company that has hundreds of employees, is able to make a profit with a $5,000 water connection fee. And so it seems like things are being mismanaged at the port if they can't figure out how to make a $5,000 water connection fee work. If Washington Water, that pays benefits and has hundreds of employees, is able to make a profit, that they're a for-profit corporation at $5,000. It seems like the Port of Allyn should be able to figure out how to make that work, and also help businesses move forward in the Port District. Our company has a large amount of land holdings in the Port District, and it's difficult with these high fees to build houses and develop properties that residents of Mason County can afford to buy. And so these things are things the port should be looking at. And also, we need jobs. We need local jobs. And instead of pursuing these park projects like Sweetwater, which really is a violation of the RCW, the port should not be pursuing any kind of park projects that are not supporting economic growth and development. And, this is a big focus right now. A lot of time and energy is going into this, a lot of discussion. And it's something the port shouldn't even be involved with. They should be involved with building warehouses, getting the pier expanded so that more boaters can come in, figuring out ways to bring commerce to Allyn, bringing opportunities and incentives for businesses to want to come and open up shop in Allyn. That is what the port should be doing right now. And that would really be a benefit to our community. It would be a benefit to the port economically as well, and it would benefit the citizens and the residents and help Allyn move forward. And that's what we'd really like to see. And so we're just wanting to bring that up to the commission tonight and just see at the next meeting if we can get some input from the commission how they're going to be moving forward in this direction going forward, since that is really what the charter of a port district is for.
Excuse me. All right, thank you, Ms. Seelan. All right. Anybody else, anybody else online that have public comment?
Mr. Jackson.
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Ted Jackson, Allyn, Washington. First off, I have to agree with Mr. Seidler. Very well said, sir. Commissioners have been there in your seats. You understand that you have to set your priorities correct. First off, the Sergeant Oyster House has to be done. It's been spending over $500,000, and it is a blight in our community. Besides maybe Travis Merrill or some other people, I drive by that building every other day, and it is a blight. Second off, people still think I'm a court commissioner, and they come up and question me about what the heck is going on in the poll. I suggest instead of, why don't you move your meeting one of these times up to Lakeland Village? Lakeland Village residents use the Port of Allyn probably more than a lot that you know. Come up and talk to the Lakeland Village residents and hear what they're saying. They want to see that pier corrected. I know it's a long process to get that pier corrected. You have to do permits and everything else. And Sweetwater Park, I've gone back and forth on that. It is a no-winner. It is, when people talk about, oh, we're gonna have a park, who's gonna manage a park? Who's gonna police a park? Who's gonna do this? It is a no-winner. Let it, the property's there. Leave it alone, focus on getting that Sergeant Oyster House fixed, whatever you want to do with it, and then work on the pier, get the permits going. It's going to take years to get the Army Corps of Engineers to get those things going. And please, don't tell me that our sea lions come down here to breed when they're all males. Please don't tell me that. And please don't tell the public that we're going to build a dock for them to nest on. Do you know what it takes to build a dock out in Puget Sound to get the permits done? So, commissioners, I've been in your seats. I'm just telling you, as I don't want to be here. Just please think about it. And the last thing I have to say, when people call you, respond, or when they email you, respond, please. I'm tired of having people call me up and say, well, I text this person or email this person, they don't respond. Even if they don't like you or you don't like them, respond, please. That's all I have to say. Have a wonderful night and be careful, please.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Any other comments online that got their hands up? Anybody?
Kathy, do you want
I have my hand up.
Okay.
I'm Terry King. I'm actually a resident of Shelton. But a few years ago, when Bonnie Knight was the executive director, the Port of Allyn commissioned the University of Washington through Washington Sea Grant to do a study of the birds that were there at the facility in Allyn. And one of the key recommendations was a redesign of the railings. And I know tonight on your agenda that you've gone out to bid for some railings, and I'm really hoping that you use some of the designs that we recommended that will keep your feathered friends off of the railings and then subsequently causing problems with the deck, the dock, and the deck, the structure of the pier. So if you don't have that, I know Commissioner Scott was one of the people we presented to, and Commissioner Netherland, and Commissioner Farmer. I can try and find that. I have retired from the University of Washington. I am now with NOAA, but I'm sure that I can find those recommendations if Executive Director Merrill is not able to find them. They are the current and best available science for deck and dock railings at this time for bird deterrence.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Terry.
Is there anybody else online over there that wants to speak? All right. Did you want to speak or?
No, I'm good with the order.
Yeah, I thought she was chomping the bit again. Okay, so we can go ahead and.
If I'll make a quick other comment regarding your minutes.
Yeah.
16, I read your last month's minutes, 16 pages. That is simply ridiculous. You don't have to put down word for word what the people say. You can put a name down, her care, haircut, commented on Sweetwater Park and recommends going forward with it. That should be more than sufficient for the minutes. You don't have to say every nitty-gritty thing that was said in the meeting. If they want to listen to that, they can go online and look at the video.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I agree with that. All right, thank you. All right. So we're gonna move to the next item here, the approval of the agenda.
Yeah, I don't see any changes, so I would make a motion to approve the agenda.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. All right. Goes right into a presentation from the Lot Oyster. Jim Bannister.
Okay. Hi.
Okay.
My name is Jim Bannister. I'm from Little Rock Oyster Company. We're a small oyster company on Hood Canal near Eagle Creek, if you guys are familiar with that. And as a small company, one of my challenges to grow is to have access to oyster seed. And at times, it has not been available, and that affects my customer base, and it's hard for me to grow. And so I've been looking for a place to put in a flux system, which is a floating upweller system. You guys are familiar with that. And I took a tour of your port facility, and hopefully, I was interested in the North Shore Pier area. Walking in the door, I heard that it may not be supported by plankton. It might not work out. But to go forward with anything, I need to get permission. Yeah. To talk. I need an address to talk to state agencies and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm here, as a kind of fact finding, and if it did work out, I would be in economic, in a plus to you, be a monthly renter, So anyway, I'm interested in that. This is kind of what it is. It's a very small. It's like an 8x20 float that it needs. It needs power, and then we would need water to wash, and it's a simple system, but yeah. So
Do you need potable water, or do you need just fresh water?
No, just
seawater.
Yeah, just
Okay.
to keep it, because there's a biomass that accumulates, and you need to keep it clean, and that would be it's a beautiful site you have up there. So
Where would
it's out of the weather.
Where would you be? Well, okay, where would you put this?
North Shore.
Up on the North Shore, at the North Shore Pier.
Well, just right up.
It would be on it's an 8x20 float, so
Okay.
it would just moor up just like any other
Okay.
boat.
That's what I was
But
wondering.
Okay.
yeah, so that's just something that I am interested in,
Okay.
and
Because
I think it'd be a great idea, just to
Yeah.
investigate it.
I think I would be a great asset to you guys. I'm very grateful in my life, and that's why I'm here. So as far as what I would give back, the more oysters I would grow. I don't know what kind of fundraising you guys do, but that would be also something that as a oyster grower, you've got.
okay.
If I have an excess surplus,
I see.
a bonus for everybody. So anyway, I don't know how much time I have, or if you guys have any questions or whatnot, or.
Well, yeah, there's not really. I mean, within
Okay.
reason, there's not really. It's not like
Okay.
a public comment. So you're just
Okay.
welcome to present yourself however
Okay.
you wish.
Okay.
Which is why we don't normally have a discussion with public comment. But presentation, I had a couple questions, if you
Yes.
don't mind. So, because on the North Shore, the oysters, because it's muddy bottom, it's typically, we don't have oysters around the North Shore, right? I mean, like, on that side of the North Shore, I mean, yeah, on that side of the canal, I should say. Like, the South Shore, you get a lot of oyster stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
The North Shore,
It's pretty rocky for the most part.
And when I went and looked at it, you've got a lot of oysters
Yeah.
on the bed there.
Yeah.
And you have, there's a natural seep, you have fresh water that comes out of the.
Yeah,
hillside.
but just, you see more of an aggressive approach to the oyster industry on the
Yeah.
South Shore than the North Shore.
Yeah.
Why is that? Do you know?
No, maybe circulation, I'm not
Okay,
sure.
all right,
I'm not sure.
all right.
So as I said, I'm in fact-finding mode right now.
Okay,
And if you guys are, would be willing to proceed with that, then, there's a number of federal and state agencies and county, hurdles to cross. And, I've already been waiting a couple years to get into Shelton, and it seems that that's gonna be going,
Couple
You're
years to
making
develop
progress?
years.
No.
You're not making
No,
progress?
no, no.
what's the holdup there?
Just
if you were-
availability,
Okay,
yeah,
all right,
so.
all right.
So I'm looking, I've even gone up to Squim,
Okay.
because where I'm at, on Hood Canal is, it's like about, halfway up. And,
Well, so have you approached like private owners or private properties that have docks and things like that?
yeah, I need a dock with power. That's protected,
That's the biggest thing.
that's protected,
Okay,
so, and it seemed pretty protected up there,
yeah, that's
And-
true.
so,
Well, I'm for it, at least for the investigation and see what you can do.
okay.
I'm for it, for looking into it at least.
What do you think, Chair?
Well, I'm thinking that I just, when I say I need to know more, I just want to know what that looks like. I mean, I see the picture, I get that.
Mhm.
So is this a new concept for you in doing business this way with the oysters and that? Usually they're laid out in bags on the beach like you see.
Right, that's right, so this is to get the initial oyster.
Oh,
So
Okay.
so I have, my business is, I have bags that, and
Okay.
I need the half-inch oyster to go in them,
these are starters.
starters.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a nursery.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
that's what I'm interested in.
That kind of explains it.
Because, so like 2 years ago, I had to get oysters from Alaska.
Okay,
There's nothing was available locally.
okay.
That was big enough, and it, so I'm trying to have my, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but my own supply.
The last question I have for you is, so when the weather gets rough, how does that affect you with the dock and
I don't know. It may be that I have to take it out in the
Yeah.
wintertime.
And you'd be willing to like, okay, this isn't working out, we need to move it right now because we don't want any inadvertent damage.
There you
things
go.
like that.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would be, maybe I need to sit down there it's gonna take, it sounds like, months before I could get, the approval. So, maybe I need to sit down there a little more often and see what the weather is like.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what are the hoops you have to jump through to even for us to go. This is you've gotten all the approval from the process of.
And I've talked to people at Fish and Wildlife and DNR and et cetera. They've all been very accommodating, and they're for the farmers.
I want to support it. We should.
Yeah, and if you had, but like I said, I don't know. It may not be biologically, possible with the amount of feed that's there.
Okay, you'll let us know.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's my.
And the only way you're going to know is by
passion.
doing it, and that's what you're suggesting.
It's there's that, and
Okay.
there's a certain amount of research that I can do. As
So
well.
you're working it. You just want to
Yeah,
know whether or not
yeah.
we're going to give you a nice, bright cautionary
Yeah,
yellow.
yeah,
as opposed to-
exactly.
Okay,
If I can,
alright.
if I can write that address on there,
Yeah,
so that
I would give you a bright yellow. Just we
Okay.
need to have more of what you're doing to make that
Yeah,
happen.
and I would love to
why-
come back and-
why we should do it.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Do we need extra make a motion? Or
No.
No, so
No.
does the commission give,
Give 'em
Presentation.
Start the
it's,
process.
yeah. just
He's going to
like-
come back with FYI.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Look
Thanks.
forward to seeing you again.
Okay.
Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
All right.
for the ladies.
Okay, senior yoga meeting room rental. We're gonna Janet Latham and Courtney. Did I say this right? Waterbury?
Janet and Courtney.
Yeah,
Courtney.
yeah,
Okay,
Courtney's gonna.
just like it
talk
looks
in-
like. Sorry.
yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Hi, so I'm going to speak on behalf for both of us. So I moved to Allyn about 5 years ago. Prior to moving here, I've been in the fitness industry for 20 years, and I understand how important it is as we continue to age to keep ourselves very active. One of the biggest things that is missing in this community is helping our, I'll just put it blank, elderly stay active. So I met Janet as a resident of Lakeland Village. I own a home up there and quickly found out that there's nothing like that offered for our seniors. And it was definitely something that Janet was looking for somebody, as myself, to be able to lead these classes. So we reached out to the port to see if this space was actually something that we could rent. In the discussion of getting things started, working with Travis, it's been great. We have a number of ladies who have been super consistent since October, I think it is, that we've been doing this. The problem that we're, however, running into now is the price that we're paying per day that we use the space. Reviewing the rental room, that's on the Port of Allyn's website, we just want to get some clarification on what technically is considered fundraising and what would be considered as a community organization, because reading on here, right now we're being charged $50 each day that we use the room. This has been set up where it is a donation base where we're saying, hey, it's a $10 donation to come in, which ultimately covers my time of being a trainer of 20 years. However, we don't always have the number of people that show up, so we're paying out of pocket every single time. But reading on here for room rentals, it says it's $50 per hour for a private party or fundraising. And then further down, it says community organization, no fundraising capability is only $25. So what we're trying to figure out is how are we falling underneath that $50 range and not the $25 range, because we're not raising any money for anybody or a community, and just trying to see if there's possibly a leeway to be dropped down to that 25, or because it is something that we're offering to the community that we both feel is very beneficial, if there's something, with us paying tax dollars and everything, if this falls under our tax dollars to be able to use a space like this.
Okay. Are you a business?
No, I'm not running it as a business.
Okay.
I'm running it as my individual self.
Okay. So, okay.
So Courtney, I think it was you that called me, so I've been thinking about this. I'm just kind of throwing this out, so, but it's just something to think about. We don't want to, we can be cautionary about gifting funds, if you're a profit, for profit or whatever. So we can't really gift anything. So I thought, what about if we charge you $25 and then you guys donate some time to offset any of that?
Well, that occurred to me too.
That way, at least it looks, you're engaging, you are kind of offsetting what we have to pay too. I know it might be more work for Travis, but if I need to step in to help.
That's what the job entails, is more work, so.
It's just something to think about.
Okay.
I don't know what the rest of the commissioners may have different ideas or whatever, but.
How many people come to your class?
It can range. It can be anywhere from, the lowest on end, we've had 5, and the max is about 12. We just haven't promoted it more and more just because, my time constraints, the holidays, things like that.
Where had you been meeting?
We've been doing it inside of this room.
Did it start here?
Yeah, it started here. Yeah.
And $50 a day for 1 hour.
Okay.
It's 1 hour on Wednesdays.
Oh, wow.
And so it's just not feasible for me.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
wondering,
that's-
how long you been doing it here? I wasn't sure.
Since October.
Okay, that's what you said.
Yeah.
And it's working out beautifully.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got people that come from Lakeland. We have people that come from Belfair. Even have had a couple of people that come from Shelton. So it's definitely, we're posting in the community pages. you know, ideally, like, yeah, we'd like to see more people.
Well, I like it that it's helping people, but
Yeah.
it also is bringing a positive attention to what we're doing here.
Exactly.
Right.
So I mean, everything's a win-win there, but back to Judy's point, we gotta be careful because we have a policy for obvious reasons, so that we're fair to everybody. So I went to work through that one. I mean, I
Can
kinda
you-
like your idea. What were your thoughts in response to Judy's?
Yeah, so I guess like what would be your idea on like volunteering, like what capacity and what areas? Because I think that definitely would.
There's a broad need.
Well,
And
I would
so-
think, like even maybe some of the people coming here, that say, hey, in order for us to continue, you could talk to them. You could just like put it out, so let's having a good time, and I think it's great, by the way, but and say, you know, in order for us to continue to use this facility, would you, I was thinking you ladies, but you might not just have ladies in the yoga, in the class, I don't know. Do you have, I'm curious.
Right now, it's just women that
Okay.
have been showing up for
Right,
it, yeah.
and that makes sense. I think that's kind of nice for y'all, but that being said, is it maybe there could be a collective response where people are like, you know, boy, yeah, I've been looking for something to do, you know, that, they're not just here to just take care of themselves in a physical aspect, that maybe there's some other needs that people have to give back into the community. There's a wealth of knowledge and experience out there that we're trying to draw on to begin with, you know? I talk about volunteerism, and I'm not saying it has to be hardcore, this is what we gotta do and need, and what can they do? That can be their idea, and because I'm sure if they have some ideas about what they would wanna do, we'll find something that's fitting and useful to us. I think that's the way to approach that. And you could also throw some ideas out too.
Yeah, if you'd like, I could mention that the policy has some real deficiencies. It doesn't really clearly state some of these lines
Yeah.
that really need to be addressed. And it's a future need for the port office to bring forth to the commission a change in policy there.
So like if a couple ladies said, yeah, we'd be interested in seeing what does that look like, and then along these lines.
And especially when we're talking about community engagement, when you have community engagement, you have a professional like Courtney coming in, and those community engagements aren't paying her a fee; they're giving a donationary fee for their time. Perhaps that is perhaps that is a deficiency in the policy that needs to be defined.
So we can define that better. But I like it. I like your idea, and we can redefine. I mean, they may say, you know what? The weather's getting better, and it'd be really nice to be out in front of QFC or Safeway, for example. This has to be it. Where people are handing out flyers, just like this is who we are toward Allyn. A lot of people this time of year start to come out that don't even know we exist. That come from, they got properties in the area, for example. They might have fun doing that. I don't know, just an idea, you know?
I think this room could be utilized much more.
Yeah, so.
There's also a lot of ladies have had, like you said, they're older ladies, they've had years of experience.
So let's work on that.
Doing different things.
And have that conversation with them, and then we can put that, it doesn't have to be a monetary return, but have to be approved by the commission, that these are the things that somebody's willing to do to offset the use and cost of the facility. Whatever that looks like, that's just my language, but you know.
And are you guys able to clearly, define what the difference is between when you say on your website, like $50 per hour for a private party or fundraising capability, and then it says community organization, no fundraising capability is only $25. So what is the difference between those two?
That's a good question.
And that is a problem inherent to the
I don't even like that
because it's
because to my understanding, what I'm providing is a community organization, which should be that $25, and then that totally negates that, hey, you need a volunteer in order to get it to that 25. I mean, I'm doing something that benefits the community in a whole, and it could turn into something even bigger, right?
So.
Like we could turn it into, community gardens or things like that. That would be helpful for everybody in the community.
I totally agree. So two things. One is the language we talked about to begin with, and also help define the difference in the cost between the 25 and the 50 based on something organized effort in the community. It's not an organization for company organization, but an organized effort in the community. How was that language that you were talking about? Can you say that again?
It's just bringing the community together to better health and
Community outreach.
yeah, there you go. That's a good way of
So
putting it.
really
Consider this a
listening,
community outreach.
yeah, listening into what you are doing, you are actually do fall under that $25.
Okay.
Me too.
At least that's mine.
And the
from
commission
what
can
you
go
said.
ahead and approve that.
Yeah, let's
At
go
this
ahead
point
and do
right
that.
now going forward.
All right, I make a
Okay.
motion that we approve the $25
Okay, okay.
Well,
for them to use it.
to consider it to be kind of an outreach, I would I would approve. I'll go ahead and say, do you want to second that?
Yeah, sure, I'll second. Was that a motion? Yes.
Yes, that was a
I'll
motion.
second it.
Okay, all in favor? All in
Okay,
favor,
aye.
aye. Okay,
Awesome.
You got it.
Thank you.
let's
guys.
just clean the language up so that.
Sure, and we would definitely appreciate any time
Yeah.
either of you may have to help us work through that angle.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to talk about angles of offsetting with volunteerism, well,
Okay,
that-
We're always pushing
We're-
for more volunteers.
we definitely have more and more added to our plate every second around.
Right.
so
Right.
if you could use
So
that
we're happy
opportunity,
to work with anybody here.
what you said, if you can use that opportunity to let the ladies know that we're always looking for, in fact, that would be a way to help you guys. It's a motivation because it's real in terms of in order to keep using this facility when we fall short. The port really could use some volunteerism and as an outreach, and if they'd be interested in that, whatever.
Yeah, and I think just maybe like clear like guidelines on like, hey, these are the areas that we need help in. I mean,
Okay.
I've lived here for 5 years and have never seen anything of the port saying, hey, we need this, we need that. You know,
Well, we've got a
and this
list.
community is, in the 5 years that I have been here, I have seen it become younger and younger generations and families moving in and things like that. So I think the more we understand as this
Okay.
next generation coming up, I think it's just gonna help Allyn grow to be bigger and be stronger and not just be this little tiny, you know, you drive through and you don't even know it's here.
So we
kind of
start with the
situation.
direct conversation, right? And
Yeah.
then grow that to communicating better about what those things are.
Awesome.
What we could use is important. We are actually putting out stuff where we're asking for, we got some volunteers, we've grown some volunteerism. It's been a direct effort on our part from the water side to, he's got a couple volunteers that come in and help in the office. I think we have an
Well, I think-
opportunity here to
Yeah,
grow.
I think putting out a list of things
I
will
agree.
really help, and we talked about that before.
Yeah, we
but,
have.
You know, we haven't, I
Done it.
haven't done it, so
Okay.
we'll get that done, we'll get a list.
Have your volunteers make a list of what volunteer we need.
The volunteers may volunteer list.
Well, that's how we grow it organically,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Because Travis only has so much time and we lean on him pretty good. And so just
Yeah,
keep talk.
time is real.
In fact, you could ask some of the gals, can you sit down with Travis and then pick his brain and then they can put that list together. That's where it starts.
Yeah, we can have that discussion in our
Grassroots.
group,
Okay.
for sure. Thank you for your time,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the phone
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, good. All right, so we're gonna move right on to the consent agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda items of the April 14th, 2025 Port of Allen regular meeting agenda.
Are you reading the whole thing?
Hi, Commissioner. Yep,
That's it.
okay,
Okay, well, I'll second it.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, so moved. All right, consent agenda items have been approved. Commission reports.
I'll go ahead and start. Of course, I did the regular meeting March 5th. I'm sorry, March 5th, there was meeting with Bill Ray, our biologist for the Sergeant Oyster House.
Okay,
And then March 10th, a regular port meeting, PRTPO. April 3rd was I attended a special meeting, the workshop. April 3rd was the DNR focus group meeting, and just a reminder for the Tahuya Forest Cleanup Day this Saturday. Lunches will be provided and starts at 9, I think. Okay,
okay,
that's it.
all right, what you got?
I attended the regular meeting on, I guess we start with the 10th, I was here. I attended the EDC meeting on the 13th. Let's see, I also attended a workshop
on the April 3rd. And I'm here today. That's it.
Okay. All right. All right, I'll go ahead with mine. So on the 18th of March, the regular meeting for here at the Port of Allyn, I attended that. And then my Mason Transit Authority board meeting that I have every month on the 18th of March. I'm the chair, so I always have a preemptive conversation with the executive prior to that and to get ready for the meeting. That's going well and representing us well.
Good.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. Executive Director report?
Yes, you got all had a chance to read the executive director report, I take it?
Yeah.
There's just a few actionable items throughout it.
Say that again?
There's a few actionable items throughout the port priorities. If we can turn our attention to port regular business administrative improvements, volunteer network. Rob Schmidt, a Lakeland resident, has been volunteering his expertise in metal fabrication and design. We've got several things that can take his attention around here, including looking into design work for several of our projects, including getting preliminary designs for even possibly replacing the pier at some point, which we do have some design money for in our commerce grants. But if we could get a port license for SketchUp, he could come down here to the office and work on with our account on port premises doing these design works.
How much is that?
It's $350 a year.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not like an
Great.
astronomical
Oh,
amount
yeah,
of money.
that's great.
But I just wanted to make sure that you were aware before I went ahead and did that. But by having that license, it allows us to use that design work for whatever purposes we want.
Okay.
Using the free version, not so much.
Right.
So I feel strongly that it's an affordable expense, and just as long as the port thinks it's a reasonable expenditure, I'll move forward with it.
Okay. Do you need a motion for that one?
No,
Okay.
just as long as no one disagrees.
Nope, I think it's great.
It's just an expenditure.
Okay.
Okay. This is crazy. Okay.
And then Commissioner Sheridan, you had your letter.
Yes, so I had chosen I've lost track of time, for quite a stretch of time, I had chosen to not take a siphon as a commissioner in terms of regrouping and getting back on a trajectory here at the port from a financial standpoint, that I felt with good conscience that I should not take a siphon, just on a positive note, to be a good steward. I felt that with good conscience I should not, and I didn't for quite a time. But I feel comfortable with where we are. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better, and we're on the right course. So I'm going to go ahead and that's really my choice. But I just wanted to publicly let you all know that I'm going to start to collect a siphon again, beginning here at the end of the month. So that's it. And that. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving forward to the next actionable item, the review and award for the hand reeling replacement project. Okay, everyone had a chance to review the actual summary that I did on all 5 proposals that we received, showing that only one of the contractors actually made the followed all the stipulations that we needed, plus with the second lowest bid, actually. So that award would be suggested to come from Lakeshore Construction.
So with Terry King wanting to put in her design, would that change this spec?
Oh, the design work?
Mm-hmm.
No, but in light of recent discovery from Gene Farmer's public comment and Terry King, who got on public comment about the design in the past for protecting the railing from wildlife.
Yep.
Definitely something we can look into as an add-on.
Okay.
But I will also have to confer with them and look back into the records, because That's not something I was aware of was done. It sounds like it was done in 2019, 2020, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
long time, I didn't even remember it, so,
But,
Talking about the railing?
yeah.
Okay.
so if we can accommodate some kind of add-on to that, it could be
Okay.
a separate bid that we have done with grant monies. But this is a very fair assessment. I originally thought we were in the $200,000 range. Looks like we're a little over 143. And that's a couple of weeks of work at prevailing wage, so.
All right.
And this was the only one that responded, correct?
No, we had 5 respondees. And the summary report that you have in your commissioner's packet
Yeah,
has that complete summary.
okay.
The hang-up is that none of those bids clearly stated that they would take care of the permitting,
Okay,
where Lakeshore's construction did. And
well, I'll make a motion to accept Lakeshore Construction's bid.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
remember this?
So moved.
And then get the motion and get signatures on this by the other commissioners. So Commissioner Curtin's gonna pass around the action request authorization,
Okay,
and it will have the commissioners sign it for now on,
Okay.
okay.
rather
So-
than handwriting
Start
it.
having you do it. Since you said
So-
you did the initial.
Specifically, yeah, whoever did the initial motion signs first on the top line. The
here
seconder
we go.
signs. That one, there isn't a lot of room, but the other ones, there'll be more room to sign.
Okay.
And I guess I need to sign the second
So I
part.
need to check the box, are you gonna do that?
Uh,
I can do it.
So the second?
yeah, check that
Yeah,
box. Approved.
Okay.
Wait, we gotta sign, we need more than one signature, right?
The
Motion.
signature line is here, John.
Oh, there's yours. Okay, Michael, bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, yours is,
Okay,
whoever seconded
I
signs.
second.
how come we're doing separate ones?
Well, it's because he's the secretary. You're signed down here, Michael.
Or
You're the
I
secretary.
also seconded. So.
Well, you weren't supposed to. You were supposed to,
Okay.
yeah.
What do you mean?
So the motion is done by one commissioner, seconded by the other commissioner, and then the secretary is the last one to sign.
So we have you sign there.
It's different. But okay, it would,
You just sign right there.
all right, hold on, I know. Yeah, you seconded it though. So,
He wasn't supposed to.
no, go ahead and make this motion again. We
okay,
need to
I do
redo the
make a
motion.
motion to award the proposal provided by Lakeshore Construction for replacement of the Port of Allen Public Pier hand railing.
Okay, I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So let's go ahead and, where's the next item?
The next item would be the Oyster House relocation cancellation of the Tremont Builders Oyster House contract.
So we're going in a different order than I have here right now.
We're skipping over the rest of it because it's just part of the executive director's report, and we are very short on time.
Yep, okay.
Just doing the actionable item.
Tell me where we are on here.
Oyster House relocation, number 4.
Okay, got it. All right. I'm okay with that. All right. Cancellation of Tremont Builders Oyster House contract action required.
And here's the document.
See it.
Same procedure as before.
Let me see it.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the termination of the Tremont Builders LLC building improvement, repair and maintenance agreement per the provisions detailed in the contract.
All right. I will second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
You guys,
There you go. Make
you're
sure.
at the top, choose. And then sign it.
Purpose of that is that we've had no contact in 3 weeks, and
Okay.
it was a commission approved contract, so I need a commission approved cancellation. 90% of the work is done. I don't know why he's not answering his phone,
Yeah, I tried to call him today too. I don't know if some, hopefully
but
no
we don't have
tragedies
time
happen.
to wait. We need to
Yeah.
move forward with our projects.
Okay.
There's like 2 pickup things to do, and we can paint the whole thing.
Say that again?
There's like 2 pickup things that need to be done construction-wise. We
Really?
can paint the whole structure. Like
Oh.
I said, yeah, we were 95% there.
Okay, well, that's good. So,
Where's the first page of that? Thank you.
all right, so we're moving on to port safety and security report.
Yep, and nothing to add for the security report. Nothing actionable or suspicious was really
Okay.
noticed.
Now let's go ahead and, that's good. That's always good when we don't have anything that we have.
Yeah, it's great when I don't have to talk about
Right.
derelict RVs
So-
taking up space
so
on the
the-
property.
So the public knows that
what have you.
that we're, now we are getting into the nicer part of the year, everybody comes out a little bit more, so,
Yeah, there's more people that I have to
Yeah.
chase out of the park, but nobody
right.
says boo about it. They all do it. They all leave
So,
respectfully.
so now we're gonna move on to setting time and date for our monthly commissioner workshop briefing. You okay?
Sure.
We got Easter coming up,
Yes. Happy Easter.
yeah.
I was hoping that it could be scheduled between the week of April 28th and May 2nd, precluding the 30th. I have all-day public records training on the
Okay,
30th.
that's good to know. All right.
What, I'm sorry, what?
He's
what
saying
week?
18th, April 28th through the May 2nd.
Oh, good, that's somewhat open, how about that?
I like the idea of May 1st. We're done with April showers.
Yeah, and Thursdays have always been good for
Sure,
everybody.
April
as I've
1st,
seen.
I mean, May 1st is good
Okay.
for me.
And,
May Day it is.
What time?
well, we gotta work out a time, because I've got a, it's very early or late in the afternoon, whatever.
Completely open.
Morning's fine.
How about late in the afternoon, like 2:30,
Oh, okay,
2 o'clock, something like that?
sure, we could do that.
How about you?
I should be able to do that.
Can I throw out 2 p.m.?
Sure.
Does that work for you?
Yes, it does.
2 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay,
On the 1st of May.
okay.
Okay, that was painless. All right. Okay, Sweetwater RCO corrective action.
And that is the same thing we had a workshop on here on the 3rd, I believe, of April. Here's the request for action,
Let's see.
same as the last 2.
Yeah, I've read through it, I'm good for that. I'd like to make a motion.
Okay. I would second that motion to approve the Port of Allen action items. Subject is the Sweetwater Creek RCO 97-1335 corrective action plan, which is going to be available for everybody publicly to see. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
So now I have the corrective action plan here, and I do have
Yeah.
Mindy Harlow here, Executive Director of the San Enhancement Group. If we can
Excellent.
just sign it here, so it's all done and handy.
Sounds good. So we're gonna start with that. We've talked a lot about this for those that might not have been here for quite a stretch now. And I'm happy to be a part of this. There you go.
You brought your own thing.
I did.
There's a deadline for submission tomorrow on this paperwork.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Sweetwater Earth Day cleanup.
Oh, we passed up the memorandum
There's
of
another
agreement.
one, memorandum.
What happened?
Here's a memorandum of
Item
agreement
D.
for constructing, developing, and maintaining Sweetwater Creek Water Wheel.
Oh, I did jump that, didn't I? All right. That's pretty important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement for
Yes.
constructing, developing, and maintaining Sweetwater Creek Water Wheel Park between the Port of Allyn and the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group, with Director Merrill to sign on behalf of the commission.
Okay, I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
And another action.
Yep. There you go.
And another signature from Ms. Harlow.
There's your signature. That.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Here, unanimous.
Thank you.
All right. Now, apologize for almost, no one's gonna let me miss that, thank goodness. Okay, so now we'll move on to the Sweetwater Earth Day cleanup event. So, what day is that?
So that's the 22nd for the Sweetwater
Okay.
birthday cleanup, the 19th for the Oak Patch up in Tahuya. So that's, Oak Patch is Saturday, Sweetwater cleanup is Tuesday, April 22nd, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And volunteers would actually sign up with Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group and process with them.
Okay.
I intend to be on site to just oversee things. Unless any other commissioners would like to take my place.
No,
That's
just,
Tuesday, the 22nd.
22nd, correct.
oh, you should just make sure that you have, you know who's there. When,
Yeah,
you know.
we'll have a complete list of,
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
well, we'll, through our license agreement, the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group will have a complete.
Okay, got it. All
Yeah,
right.
but that'll be from 11 to what again?
So that's also Kiwanis.
Kiwanis cleanup?
Mhm.
Oh.
Isn't it? Isn't
Oh,
that,
really?
no, it's not, I had on there, the
There's
Kiwanis.
a May 2nd Kiwanis cleanup.
Oh, that's me. Oh,
You're looking at
Okay.
That
May?
mean there's a 2 in there, so it's close.
okay, there we go, sorry.
Okay, you're gonna be wrong
11 to
month?
1.
Yeah, wrong month.
Okay,
Okay.
all right,
Okay,
all right.
Maybe some clarification. Was the Washington Conservation Corps going to be there all day or just during that 2-hour period?
They can be there all day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
perhaps maybe I might come earlier.
Sounds good.
But thank you for being on that. Like you're trying to make sure we're separating a little bit of
Yeah.
some of the efforts in the community, which is really good. Okay, so now we're going to the next part. Is there any more on that? Did you, okay. EDC of Mason County CED's list projects. The acronyms are killing me.
SEDS, that's how they pronounce it, so.
SEDS
list.
Mm-hmm.
So, we talked about this before in the, workshop. And I created a list with 5 outlines of information for the commission's consideration as, information to submit to the Mason County EDC for the SEDS list consideration. We need to be on this list for, basic attempts to go after any funding that is possible.
Right.
For county and other state opportunities.
So, yeah, and this is a good opportunity for me to share this. So, and I understand the community's input on trying to generate some growth, industrial, and some of the revenue that comes with that. We have come to a good place where, there's an old saying, a real problem in a port or in any entity, the biggest problem is when you don't know and you can't identify with some of those concerns. There's crossroads that we need to cross. And we've gone through some crossroads, identify with things that we should do better, and we're doing them now. So we're just getting very focused on doing what we have right now and doing the right thing with it. And not just doing the right thing, but being a good stewards with the resources that we've been handed, if you will, that we're to do something positive with. So we're focused on that. And so that being said, commissioners, do we want to make a motion here on that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the outlines regarding the port projects, Sergeant Oyster House Museum relocation, the well consolidation, and the Washington State plan. What was that? The water system plan update, port safety and security, Sweetwater Creek Park, public pier renovation, for submission to the EDC of Mason County for the SEDS list.
What does that look like for approval here? Is it the same?
Same thing.
Okay, so I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. We good?
Good.
All right, so let's move on to some new items here. Possible action, technical, and we'll start with technical support for Case Inlet Fisheries Task Force website.
I can give some clarity to that if you like.
Yeah, please do.
I attend most meetings. I think about in the last 3 in a row with the Case Inlet Fisheries Task Force. They have monthly meetings on the third Thursday. But one thing that's been talked about, where the port originally had given support until they became an official entity on their own, which they have. They're now official 501c. Talked about possibly using some of Natalia's IT skills time for her wages here in the at the port to help them reimagine their website and help them with kind of cleaning things up. Same thing that she kind of does for us. But this would be maybe a 3 to 6 hour a month commitment, and I wouldn't see it moving past that. And actually probably less than that 2-3 months down the line, because then as it's already developed and put forward, there's very little to work with. And they've moved pretty quickly. I imagine that they will hit their $5,000 deposited in the first 30 days and get their $500 bonus from KeyBank for opening their account. From the emails I saw where I'll donate 1,000, I'll donate 1,000. Where do I send the check? Blah blah blah. But they also finished top 20% in their applicants in the No Child Left Inside grant application, which has got a good possibility to be funded depending on where the cutoff is when they approve the budget. So things are looking pretty strong there. But that's something that the commission will have to decide is a legitimate use of our office time.
Okay.
All right.
How busy is she now?
Well, you know, just I keep her busy on mostly IT and stuff related stuff. So right now she's actually removing the skins on our signs that were down here, the big 3-foot by 5-foot signs that we approved having those new skins made for. I just had her busy on other things, so I didn't order them yet, but they arrived today.
Oh, good.
And she's removed the skin off of one of them. Those things are baked on there. I mean, she's sitting on top of the thing on her knees on the table, going, just ripping it off, you know. And
What's that got to do with technical support?
It's just what her time's being used for currently.
Okay.
So, but
really, okay.
Because of the design work that she does for the port.
Okay.
That's why some of these signs and stuff, and we're getting ready to order new skins for the truck and stuff like that.
All right.
But if the commission still feels that you know, a little bit of help to this new entity that is official, the Case Inlet Salmon or Case Inlet Fisheries Task Force is something we can, you know, work towards.
We agreed, you know, at that big meeting, we agreed to help. I just think with our situation, we need to be cautious.
Yeah.
What we spend, because I know that they have a big support where they're at already. So.
So what's this going to cost us?
Just her time that the port pays for,
which
means she works a few hours of her time on this and a few hours less on the port stuff.
On the what?
Ports.
On port
issues.
Business. Yeah.
Port business.
Okay.
It's just time. It's not money, but time.
Well,
is money,
and there's
of
a
course.
sunset, as you said. There's kind of a sunset on that, which is great.
Sure.
Yeah, I like that. Right.
Okay.
I mean, because we really need to stay on top of that. So as far as there's the days are over with. Yeah, that's a good idea. Or that's a good idea. But now that's a good idea. But let's just be careful about what we spend.
Okay. So we will not move forward with that currently.
No, I'm
No,
okay.
I think we can just
I like-
limit the hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will limit. How about we limit to 4 hours?
Yeah, I
rather
think
than-
that would be appropriate.
Yeah. Okay. I will make sure that it's limited to 4 hours.
Yeah, I don't mean to be difficult, but I think just staying careful and putting limits on things is important.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay?
I need limits.
Yeah, you do.
I need to go home at some point.
Yeah. We're gonna try to get there. All right. So the next, is there any more on that?
Nope, no more. on
Okay,
that.
the Heron shared office space.
Yeah, and that's mostly just kind of an active report from my tour for the commission. You can talk about it.
Okay.
Because it was a project that was conceptualized by previous ports administrations to do a shared office business park, so to speak. Judy knows a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
It's been on previous comprehensive schemes of improvement.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, economic development type stuff and could be been a moneymaker, but, you know, like it's been spoken, we have projects that are on the table that need to get finished. And, you know, I gave Travis, in 2000, we did a feasibility study of trying to get an industrial park. And I've always wanted to do that, but, you know, it takes a lot of money and a lot of grant money, and it's very difficult, so we just need to take care of what we got right now.
I agree.
One of the head starts for a lot of ports to do that is that they already have the land.
Yeah,
And
a building,
yeah,
or a
and,
building.
and the port of Allyn is land poor when it comes to
Right.
expandable commercial land currently.
Yeah.
So, not that it couldn't be in the future.
No,
But-
absolutely. And
So I did look into, you know, he just purchased the old Reed Real Estate building.
Right.
That's what it is. And the other building is, could be for sale, I think. I was investigating about
Across the
that.
street?
Yeah. But, so I was asking about what kind of grants are out there, and for ports right now, and I'm sure if I was better at grant writing, but the only thing that would really qualify is if there was an element of education in it. So that means we'd have to partner with a college or a school, and so
An
we have
educational
projects that
entity.
we need to work on what we got.
Yeah, my mind could go crazy with all kinds of cool options
Sure.
and ideas, but we have to be realistic and keep focused on getting some of the stuff that we need to get done that we've been working on for a long time.
Yes.
That the point was well taken in one of the public comments. So let's get on with what we got and make it work, and then get from there to making a plan that's 5 or 10 years out. That's where I'm at.
I agree.
And beyond.
They did a really wonderful job putting that place together.
That's great. I haven't been there, in there.
You'll
since
have
they
to, you've
remodeled.
spent so many of your hours in there to see the
Yeah.
change, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's
for
no more
sure.
hallways.
Is her office still there?
I don't recall.
No. All right.
He retired. I moved to Paramount Real Estate.
Yeah. Right on. Okay. Position, financial, where's, so Aaron just,
Yeah, Erin's on vacation,
Okay.
so she did provide me.
because to that note, we usually, have, Aaron comes in and does our financial report, which with, more detail than we have this month, for presentation.
I do have some
Right.
notes that I can provide.
Yeah, let's do that.
For the month, we had about close to 15,000 property tax revenue. So that's the tail end of before the real tax dumps come. And during this month is when our tax dumps really ramp up. By the end of the month, we will have a pretty sizable chunk of money that we use to fund ourselves for the next 6 months until the October dump. But as previous reports have stated, our financial position is very strong. And one thing that we just want to keep mind of is our legal expenses out of the water fund. But that's something that we've been collecting development fees on fairly heavily, and we've known that we have some deficiencies there that will slow down in those legal department fees because we're finishing some very needed documentation.
Right.
But other than that, we connected 3 new services in March from the 3 NTT builds that have called for meters, and tomorrow morning we're installing 4 more. Which those, as soon as they installed, they go straight into the billing cycle for usage and base rates. So,
Nice. Okay.
and it'll be a total of 10 when they're done, and I suspect that those payments will come very shortly. I did let them know that I had all of their water meters in stock, so that whenever they're ready, they just have to pay us and then give us a call, and we drop the meters and start billing accounts.
Okay. Yeah, once we get through improving on our water policy and standing on better ground as far as doing what we should do better coming out of this summer, we're going to be in good shape. So I'm happy about that. Just a general comment. All right. Any other concerns, questions, Commission, regarding the financial report? I mean,
No?
we didn't. And we'll be posting that online.
It's already posted.
Yeah.
It's already posted,
It's already
okay.
posted.
Yeah, and I've looked through it, and
Okay,
I had one question of which he answered, and
okay,
that was it.
all right.
So I guess we can move forward for a motion to approve, or,
So vouchers are next, yeah.
okay. I move that we approve the payment vouchers, for the general fund vouchers. Do I have to read all those numbers?
He likes it, but so we'll
Okay.
do it.
250, 4013-250, 4041, for $12,465.86. Payment vouchers, 250, 4,000, actually 40,001, -250 for 4,012 for $18,229.21. Water fund vouchers, 250-4042 to 250-4050 for $8,878.85. Do I hear a second?
We have a
I'll
second.
second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Here's the voucher sheets for what signature?
Here's that one. There's no more.
Should have a few more.
Yep.
There you go. All right.
Good of the order. She's ready for the good of the order.
Okay, well, we're ready for the good of the order too, so let's go ahead and do that, yeah.
Hi, I'm Kat Ross out of Belfair, and I'm here to represent America250.org. In Shelton, there's a group that has been meeting for a few months, and they are trying to get together a Mason 250. Now, 250 means the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, which will be July 4th, 2026. But there is a lot that went into that from the beginning of the Revolutionary War. So what they have started with is the Wild Irish Pub has connected with them, and they're going to have a little wild, a lot of flavor mixed with fun to commemorate the ride, the midnight ride of Paul Revere. It's this Friday on the 18th, and it is from 5 to 9 p.m., 423 West Railroad Avenue, next to the Historical Society. So if anyone can come, it's going to be history brought to life. There will be costume colonials and British regulars, and it is, again, this Friday. So please, tell your friends, if you have this, there's sheets at the back. Please put it on your Facebook pages or any page that you generate as soon as you go home tonight, because it is on Friday. Then the actual America250.org, the two lights for tomorrow. One if by land, two if by sea, I on the opposite shore shall be. And this is the Paul Revere rode into history with the North Church lights. So everyone, young and old, can come. They will be having collective coins. They will be having some fun, some trivia, some questions. What do you know about the beginning of the Revolutionary War? So also go on to America250, and if you have any ideas, the Shelton group would love for North Mason to be a part, do something. Let's face it, Belfair can't have a parade. There's nowhere to have it. Maybe we could get the park up and going and we could do something there. But it's the idea that we do something to commemorate this throughout the year. They are going, the group from Shelton, a few of them are going to Chehalis on Saturday to see the skirmish of Concord and Lexington. It's going to be an encampment and everything, the reenactment. So with that idea, keep July 4th next year in mind and read your history. Find out what went on and what interests you. And America250.org can tell you what's going on around the country in case you want to take a road trip. So thank you, appreciate it immensely. So please, take the brochures, they're at the back. If you go to any store, you can put them up real quick, whatever. Please get them out there so people know about them.
Now, the kids, the Paul Revere thing, kids can't go to that, right? Because it's at a pub, right?
It is, but there are places outside they can be, and there's the yard on the side for the historical museum. So they could play out there, but there'll be food, drink, and everything that you can purchase and
I
go
have a
out.
16-year-old that might be interested. So.
Well, yeah, because they're not teaching this stuff in schools anymore.
So that's this Friday?
It is this Friday.
A lot of people in church this Friday. Just so you
It is that holiday weekend, so
I'm just
yeah,
saying,
it is Holy Week.
The lineup is pretty interesting. The July 4th of next year is a big deal. There'll be a lot of things going on.
It is.
Yeah, but this is good.
But this is a start,
Yeah.
you know,
This
but
is.
yeah, the kids can play outside and there is a railing so they're not in the street and things
Okay.
like that. So they can still be part of and see
Yeah.
the costumed people and hear what's going on.
Wonder if Lakeland Village would like to have a parade someday.
That would be fun through the streets.
You can do that.
One lane, not both lanes. Just saying.
I have something for the good of the order.
Okay, yeah, please.
Okay.
Just for the record, normally good of the order is designed for the commission and it's subjective at the commission's approval, and we encourage good of the orders.
All right. Well, see, first of all, I want to appreciate Travis coming to our Case Inlet Fisheries Task Force meetings. Yeah, we are 501(c) now, and I mean, we're moving, I mean, you know, we could likely have fish this summer that we're raising.
I was really impressed by that.
Yeah, I mean, it's happening. And the school district has a grant as well, you know, to help facilitate the salmon enclosures and everything else. So, I mean, they're really supportive of this effort because the kids are going to help feed the fish, and it'll be kind of a vocational thing for them. So, so thanks to Travis for that, and you guys supporting that effort, and you know, I mean, and the website. You know, sure. I mean, ports. You know, should focus on economic development. You know, but to that end, you know, there's also an RCW that allows ports to be in recreation, to you know, I mean, to support tourism and recreation. So it's not outside of the law. You know, to the question of you know, I mean, who would run the park, or I mean, we'll be subject to a bunch of work. Well, I mean, go down to the Feller wetlands. Tens of thousands of people go there every year. I mean, are there riots? Is it burning down? Is there garbage everywhere? No. I mean, you know, there's an expectation when you go there that number one, you mind the rules, right? And you know, the Salmon Enhancement does a wonderful job, and all the volunteers. So I don't see that as really being a concern. You know, I mean, I think it's overblown. Yes, there's been an inordinate amount of time and focus on, you know, I mean, on Sweetwater. Well, why is that? Well, it's because of all the endless debate.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's why it is. That, you know, I mean, that's what's there. So, you know, I mean, the debate needs to end. Just needs to stop and move forward. So.
Can I add something to that? There's a man that lives at Sand Hill where all of the fields are, in a trailer. It's his home, and he is in charge of taking care of all of that maintenance. So that's not something that would be out of the ordinary to possibly do that at the park, to have someone on security and maintenance.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. Yeah, yeah. So there's all kinds of strategies to employ. Yeah. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Bill.
Right, and on that note, for those that are, I mean, we want to move forward. I mean, we've got a remarkable opportunity in working with the Salmon Center, between that and the school district and everything else behind that. Just having the park and part of that, those efforts are about getting in compliance, and they're willing to do the work to help us get there. So it's a win-win, and I mean, and we have an opportunity to do the right thing here and move forward and make something out of this. And where it's going, we will work through it, and we have to listen to the opposition as well as those that are for it and why.
Mhm.
And the more that we hear the argument for it, and we ever articulate that to the public, the better served we're gonna be. So we gotta get more of that positive comments, more positive attitudes towards it, you know? So, okay, that's all. Anybody else for good of the order?
Steve?
I'm just here to listen.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Thank you for being here.
is it, we've done good of the order in person. Is there anybody online that wants to do good of the order?
Who?
Terry.
Please, go ahead.
Oh,
Online?
Hi, is it possible for me to share my screen quickly? You've
Yeah.
asked a number of questions tonight about the Washington State shellfish aquaculture permitting, and I have a diagram. I have actually put it in the chat, but maybe if you could just look at it quickly, it might give you an idea of what the process. Oh, it looks like I can't.
Well, if you can, we're okay with that for the good of the order here.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap up, but we'd love to,
Totally understand.
if you can do it, that's great.
Yeah, let's see if she can make it happen for me.
Okay,
oh, okay.
there it is.
Okay.
It says only the host can share. So maybe that won't work.
No, we can see it.
We can see it.
But we had it.
Oh, you,
Hold on.
Down at the bottom, there's a green box that says share. Click on that carrot next to it.
There we go.
Oh, no, the little carrot next to the green box.
While she's getting squared away, I just wanna thank you guys for
That's the button.
getting over the hurdle on Sweetwater Park. Let's get it moving, and I'll ping on Mindy to make sure it happens.
Yeah, and we're early in the next part of that journey, but thank you.
Okay, Terry, try again.
okay, I'll try. Hold on. It's not letting me do it. Okay, so maybe what we can do is,
Just
oh,
speak.
hold on.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
All right, so what do you guys see? You see a screen, don't you? A blank screen. I need to show you.
No, we see
No,
we see a bird.
Citizen Science Project looks at
No,
bird
that's
pollution.
different.
Okay, that's a
Can
different
you
one.
see this? Do you see a document that says NOAA Fisheries Washington Shellfish Aquaculture Permitting?
No.
No.
Okay.
Can you just speak to it?
We do online.
There we go.
There it
So
is.
this is the permitting process for something like a flub seed, a shellfish farm, etc. And this is one of the ones that we've designed. So this is what you've asked Mr. Bannister to go through in order to look and to see if a flub seed might be possible on the North Shore, or if you were going to put it anywhere else.
We'll absolutely
So we
share
also
it.
have them for seaweed and finfish.
Thank you so much, Terry.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you.
So you might want to go in and look.
Do we want to post that on
Yeah,
our?
we'll be able to get the link off of the chat
Yeah.
from the Zoom.
So we can post that?
Yeah.
Right? Okay,
Thank you for allowing me to share.
thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and, I've not missed anybody, right? That wants to speak to the good of the order, because I've opened this up quite a bit online.
Anybody else? Justine, can you see?
I do not see anyone.
All right, we're adjourned.